Little People, Big World, fans bombard Matt Roloff after learning about his engagement to Caryn. Hello viewers, I am Alana, welcome back to my channel. USA Daily History for Roloff family latest news update. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. Little People, Big World stars are engaged. The couple has, and at some point, both was on the horizon for them. But fans couldn't be happier to learn about the incredible news. TLC announced with a sweet photo of the two on Instagram that Matt had proposed. She said, "Yes, LPBW couple Matt and Caryn are engaged," the caption read. The couple looks so happy in the snap that also happens to show off Caryn's beautiful diamond engagement ring. "Congratulations to Matt and Caryn," one person wrote. "I am so happy for them both," another wrote. "I love you guys together," someone else said. As many longtime viewers know, Matt and his ex-wife divorced in 2016. While never confirmed, there has been much speculation that Caryn perhaps had a role to play in their separation. However, all that is in the past as in 2021, and is no longer involved with most dealings of Roloff Farms. As for Matt's children, it doesn't look like any of them have publicly acknowledged the engagement. However, it's also unclear if Matt is after Zach, and presumably his siblings, felt that was not handled well by Matt. We're hoping all is okay on the family front, especially during such a happy time for Matt and Caryn. We'll find out more if and when season 25 airs. Although it hasn't been confirmed, one of Matt's Instagrams from February indicate the family is filming. As for a wedding date, "Our plan is to enjoy our engagement, and we are looking forward to a simple but elegant wedding in 2024. Little People Big World. Matt Roloff calls his girlfriend Caryn Chandler his rock. Matt Roloff is making his appreciation for girlfriend Caryn Chandler known on Instagram Friday. The 60-year-old Little People, Big World star shared a photo of the couple posing alongside some of their friends. Roloff's caption for the post also featured a sweet shout-out for Chandler. "Tonight having a ball with friends in the cabin," Roloff wrote. "Caryn Chandler 1 is my rock. She know, sick, how to take some random structure I build and make it come alive with energy and soul. Living her best life." Chandler was an employee at Roloff Farms before the pair began dating in 2017. Their relationship has grown to become serious since then. On LPBW in August, Roloff and Chandler revealed they were moving in together. "Our grand plan right now is to stay committed, stay in love, go to Arizona and spend a tremendous amount of time together," Chandler said in a confessional. "Then when we're here in Portland, we'll live individually and see each other a lot." Roloff said it was a whole new major chapter in life for the couple, adding that they have the best of all worlds happening. Addressing whether they're getting married, Roloff joked it won't happen until 2022. "We're not. He hasn't asked me, so we're definitely not," Chandler said as Roloff added, "Yet." The reality star was previously married to Matt Roloff from 1987 to 2016. The exes share twins Jeremy and Zach, 31, daughter Molly, 28, and son Jacob, 24, and August. Amy, 57, wed longtime love Chris Merrick at Roloff Farms. "But our marriage is a lifetime together. I'll have the rest of my life with Chris and that makes me smile," Amy told People at the time. "It was challenging, planning a traditional wedding and all that typically goes into that, to what we want to have at our wedding. Sometimes it felt like the two clashed at times for me. But in the end, it's about the two of us, Chris and I. It's about combining our two lives together into one and sharing it with our family and friends." Even though Matt and Chandler weren't invited to the wedding, Matt played a big part in the ceremony preparation process. He helped get Roloff Farms ready for the special day. "Never looking so good. Bring it on." He days before the wedding. "Hard work pays off. Enjoying this beautiful place. Thanks to my hard-working daily crew, Jason, Tristan, David, James, Sven, KT, Caryn, and Shannon. Little People, Big World. 10 times Caryn and Matt seemed totally heartless. Matt Roloff and Caryn Chandler have exhibited heartless behavior in Little People, Big World. The reality series debuted in 2006 and highlighted the Roloff family navigating their lives with dwarfism. Their eldest son, Zach Roloff, has been an integral part of the show. However, their family dynamic shifted when Matt and Amy Roloff decided to get divorced. From that point on, the Roloffs were never the same, and Matt started a relationship with Caryn, whom in Little People, Big World has suffered because of him. Before getting engaged to Matt, Caryn worked as an employee at the Roloff Farms. She had been a long-term manager running the pumpkin patch. Amy trusted her as an employee and was taken aback when they started pursuing a real relationship. It was heartless of Caryn to start dating her employer, who was married, but it was Matt who began dating the person who ran the pumpkin patch. Looking back, their memories on the farm must be tainted with questions about when Caryn and Matt's relationship went further than an employee-to-boss dynamic. Before, he was communicating inappropriately with Caryn. In Amy's memoir, she alleged she found messages between Matt and Caryn while they were still married. She knew Caryn because she was working as the manager of the pumpkin patch on the Roloff farms. However, Amy alleges the conversations she saw between Matt and Caryn were inappropriate and should not have been going on between two people who had a working relationship for years. Amy believes Matt and Caryn had an affair. Amy was married to Matt for over 30 years, and they had built the Roloff farms together. Caryn entered the picture as an employee working on the pumpkin patch. However, Amy alleged she found pictures and messages between them while she and Matt were married. Amy ended her marriage with Matt after that, though he insisted he wasn't having an affair with Caryn. However, it was shady how they entered a relationship and got engaged after he and Amy split. Their behavior towards Amy is rather patronizing. One of the oddest moments was when Matt told Amy he was leaving the farm to her if he died. It was shocking news for Amy, and she was visibly stunned when Matt told her. The moment felt like her ex-husband was trying to overcompensate for the pain he caused Amy in the past. The Roloff farms have caused quite a drama in the family's lives. Once again, Matt was using the farms as damage control for Amy. There has always been speculation that for his money. Before they got together, Caryn was in the process of leaving her previous 2-decade-long marriage. She worked her way up the ranks on the farm and eventually became Matt's assistant. When it was revealed they were together, many of Amy and Matt's children found this odd. Appearing on a reality show for quite some years can ensure a steady flow of income. Caryn could have seen this and used her connection with Matt to ensure financial stability. Matt and Caryn got a home together and raised some red flags for Little People, Big World fans. He wasn't too keen on the new home because it lacked accessibility for him. In the 2-story home, the primary bedroom was upstairs, and Matt did not want to attempt to use the stairs. Because of that, he began sleeping downstairs while Caryn slept upstairs. She got her new home but did not consider Matt in the process. Matt forms an out-of-the-blue bromance with Amy's new husband, Chris Merrick. Their relationship stressed Amy out, and it feels like an attempt from Matt to be passive-aggressive towards his ex-wife. During Little People, Big World Season 25, Matt and Chris gossiped about Amy's cleanliness. Matt has continued to badmouth his ex-wife and has even deemed her a dictator. Amy must be worried that his negative thoughts about her will rub off on her current husband, Chris. Caryn had an influence on Matt's decision to put the Roloff farms on the market. Caryn said she didn't want any responsibility for the farms. Whether she meant to or not, her sentiments seeped into Matt's subconscious. He was eager to move on and leave his past life behind to start a new chapter with Caryn. Because she didn't want to continue with the farms, Matt didn't think selling the Roloff farms would be a problem. He only thought about Caryn and forgot to consider how the decision would impact the rest of his family, specifically Zach. Matt and Caryn broke Zach Roloff's dreams when they wouldn't sell the Roloff farms to him. Throughout his life, Zach grew up on the farms and was excited to take responsibility for them as the eldest son in the family. However, Matt shocked the family when he listed part of the farm on the market without consulting anyone else. This devastated Zach, as he thought he was a shoo-in to take over the Roloff farms. For $4 million, a price he knew his son couldn't afford. Matt took another jab at Amy by seemingly mocking her age. On his Instagram, posted a group photo with himself, Caryn, Chris, and Amy in 2022. In the caption, he asked negative people to please go away gracefully and avoid commenting hate in his comment section. However, at the end of the caption, he said he was willing to respond to the fools for fun if you are over 55 and mature and to qualify. His comment was seen as throwing shade toward Amy, who was 57 at the time. Caryn is officially done filming Little People, Big World. It's unclear if Little People, Big World will return for season 26. However, Matt shed some light on the future of the show on his Facebook page after the season 25 finale aired. Said it was becoming difficult to film the show as more and more family members drift away, hinting at Zach and Tori's exit from Little People, Big World. He added that his fiancée, Caryn, was done with filming and didn't want to partake in another potential season. Matt did not share his own opinions about the show continuing. However, with Zach and Tori leaving the reality series, there would not be much for production to film for Little People, Big World Season 26. The only potential major event that could be filmed is Matt and Caryn's wedding. Instead of thinking about that, Caryn is heartless and opts out of being on the show. Their wedding could be a major storyline next season, but with Caryn saying she won't film, that option is out. Matt and Caryn seemed heartless in Little People, Big World. From the beginning of their relationship, Caryn has been influencing Matt's decisions. He hasn't done the best job navigating difficult conversations with his ex-wife and children, which has been shown on Little People, Big World. Little People, Big World, clues Caryn Chandler's a gold digger, did she cause the farm drama? Caryn Chandler has had a when it comes to her intentions behind dating and eventually marrying Matt Roloff. Starting as one of his employees, Caryn began working on the farm as Matt's assistant for 10 years before acquiring a spot on one of. Matt used to be married to Amy Roloff, with whom he bought a farmhouse in 1990 to create Roloff Farms, which has since exploded in popularity to become a huge tourist destination in Oregon. Caryn experienced her own divorce from Joseph Chandler, whom she was married to for 20 years until 2012. Matt and Amy split in 2016, giving Caryn 4 years to present herself as a single and available outlet for Matt in his marital troubles. Having had 2 children with Joseph, Caryn was likely, which is where Matt and the potential value of selling his farm came in during. Did Caryn Chandler pressure Matt Roloff into not selling Roloff Farm to Zach Roloff? When Matt acquired the family farm in 1990, a succession was well established with Zach slated to take over after Matt was ready to retire. That is why it took the entire family, most notably Zach, by surprise when Matt decided to list 16 acres of the market without consulting anyone. Zach was understandably offended, and although he has not publicly placed blame on Caryn, her lack of interest in taking on the responsibility of managing the Roloff farms was not a secret and presumably influenced. Although Caryn would not have been involved if Zach were to take over, she would have lost a large sum of money which she felt entitled to. It goes without saying that Zach was well aware of the financial incentive Matt and Caryn gained by removing him from the equation, given that he refused to talk about Matt and Caryn's engagement with the producers during a confessional moment later in the season. Is Caryn Chandler seeing dollar signs? It is no secret that Matt has a desirable amount of money from the farm and the 25 seasons of Little People, Big World which he has starred in, and Caryn is benefiting from that with new homes in both Oregon and Arizona. Caryn also posts on Instagram quite frequently to share updates about what she refers to as quick getaways in Cabo. While she may be enjoying a new lavish life, her new expensive 2-story home lacked accessibility for Matt to the upstairs bedroom, which displayed a priority for Matt's money over his company in her life. Not only did Matt likely support Caryn financially in getting her home, but he also gave her authority throughout the process of building his new and expensive home. Caryn told Matt, "It's still always going." Zach claims that he has never been uncomfortable in a financially materialistic way and that leaving the show is an opportunity to move on and pursue open doors which they may not pursue otherwise. Unlike Caryn, who still seeks to reap the show's financial benefits, and another podcast episode, Zach says that his relationship with Matt is non-existent and that although the dust has settled since they stopped filming, nothing has been fixed. Zach never got along with Caryn in the first place and goes on to say that Matt and Caryn are still in denial, thinking they've done nothing wrong, which communicates a narcissism that he must have put his foot down against. Leaving challenged Matt and Tori to distance themselves from which clearly has in part caused the farm drama. Little People, Big World, Caryn just sold her house. Did she pressure Matt into getting engaged? Might have been pressured to propose to after her recent comments and decisions. Since splitting from his ex-wife Amy Roloff, Matt has been in a relationship with Caryn, who was a longtime employee at the Roloff Farms and managed the pumpkin patch before she became Matt's assistant. There were rumors the duo were having an affair before Matt's marriage to Amy crashed. Although both Matt and Caryn deny it, it hasn't helped to haven't accepted her as part of the family. Nonetheless, in 2023, Matt and Caryn announced their engagement with plans to get married in 2024. After 6 years of dating the pair, however, specific trends have shown that all might not be well with their wedding plans. First, Caryn refused to live on the Roloff Farms to avoid being reminded of Amy, and she wouldn't agree to have her wedding on the farm. Also, Matt's statement about his feelings towards getting married again and Caryn's hurried moves suggest she might want the marriage more than Matt. Caryn Chandler just sold her house for $529K. After an episode of Little People Big World Season 25 showed Caryn and Matt disagreeing over what their house should look like as they prepare for their wedding, Caryn sold her Oregon home for $529,000. The couple's living arrangements have raised eyebrows since they started dating 7 years ago, with Caryn living separately from Matt. Although will be happening sometime in 2024, they have yet to pick a specific date, but that didn't stop Caryn from selling off her house, since she is about to become Mrs. Roloff. Meanwhile, after their recent spat during an episode of the show and previous comments about not being sure about their marriage plans. Despite getting a house with the plans of moving in together, Caryn should have at least waited till all of their plans came together before selling her old home. Also, Caryn's son Connor lived in the apartment before it was sold after separating from his ex-girlfriend Ashley Washam. Matt Roloff said he's terrified of marrying again. Despite the excitement about their engagement and the anticipation surrounding their wedding, Matt's shocking admission that he might not be totally on board with the idea of getting married again places a massive spotlight on his relationship with Caryn. Matt, speaking to his friend Ty and his, talked about how petrified he felt about getting married again. Although he doesn't see himself with anybody but Caryn, Matt is concerned about how their relationship might change once they marry, noting, "We both like it and have been married, but do we need to do that exactly in the first place?" Since announcing their marriage plans, the couple has shifted the potential date further down the year, which also questions their intentions and commitment to tying the knot. The couple's relationship arrangement has worked for the past 7 years. After Matt's public admission, the idea of walking down the altar might not have entirely been his idea. Caryn Chandler guilt-tripped Matt Roloff over his new home. After revealing his decision to leave the family's Oregon home to his ex-wife Amy, Matt and Caryn enlisted the services of an interior designer to help decorate their new home. However, Caryn and Matt's relocation plans didn't quite go as they expected, as evidenced by their Little People Big World Season 25, Episode 2 disagreement over what the interior of their new house should look like. Matt's idea of putting a large piece of barn wood in his office in the home was met with a comment of, "That's obnoxious," by Caryn. However, the most revealing moment was when "This is Matt's house that I happen to cohabitate in." Caryn's statement about cohabiting in the house that belongs to Matt because they aren't married yet shows how desperately she wants it and how she is using every avenue to pressure Matt until it happens. Hopefully, Caryn is doing this because she loves Matt, not as some LPBW fans believe. Little People, Big World. 8 signs Caryn Chandler's a user. This gold digger will divorce Matt someday and take his money. Caryn Chandler may be using star Matt Roloff and marrying him only for money. The reality series spotlighted the Roloff family and their lives with dwarfism. Matt and Amy Roloff share 4 children, with their son Zach Roloff becoming a pivotal presence in Little People, Big World. Caryn joined the show as Matt's girlfriend after. Their relationship started far before their split while she worked on the Roloff family farm as the manager of the pumpkin patch. Since appearing in Little People, Big World. After years of starring on the show, Matt is well adjusted to life in the spotlight, unlike his partner, who is new to reality TV. The Roloff family dynamic shifted when with her. Zach's disapproval of their relationship led to him and, with only Caryn, Matt, Amy, and her partner Chris Merrick left to film after season 25. Matt's future wife impacted his feud with his son, Zach. Zach was heartbroken by his father's selfish decision. He had dreamt of taking over the farms since he was young, and Matt stripped him of that opportunity. To make matters worse, he told Zach he could buy a piece of the land for $4 million, a price he knew his son couldn't afford. Matt may have wanted to sell the farm because Caryn didn't want to take on the responsibility. Caryn benefits from her relationship with the Little People, Big World star. Before the Roloffs started filming their reality show, Matt made money from the farm. He would have been well set without Little People, Big World, but Caryn worked closely with him before they began their love affair. After beginning their relationship, she got a house. While it's not confirmed, it's assumed Matt financially helped her with the big purchase. After Caryn entered the picture, Matt's stance on the Roloff farms shifted. Caryn told Matt she wasn't interested in managing the project as she grew older and could have influenced his decision to sell the farm. Instead of thinking about what the Roloffs would have wanted for their future, Caryn prioritized her selfish wants and needs, seemed like. They got engaged during Little People, Big World Season 25, but something about their engagement felt forced. Matt knew their union would upset his children and Amy, but he didn't care. He should be focused on building a relationship with Zach, but instead, he's busy catering to his bride-to-be. Caryn may see how vulnerable Matt is in the current state of his family and use that to her advantage to isolate him. Matt's personality has changed since Caryn became a part of his life. He used to care about the Roloffs more than he does nowadays. Once he began his relationship with Caryn. Matt should have spoken up if he had second thoughts about keeping the Roloff farms. He greedily listed the farms without consulting Amy or Zach and thought he would get away with it. His disinterest in the farms and maintaining his family relationships